We have another loaded show coming your way on Boston Celtics today, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But first, I was looking at the YouTube analytics, and I'm able to see where all of you tune in from. I do not know this, though, when you became a Celtics fan. So let me know the year in the comment section, and let's talk some C's right now. You're watching Boston Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. Hope all of you are having a fantastic week. And if you're not, I know you're having a pretty good day because the Boston Celtics came through with a really gritty and gutty victory in the playoffs. Game 3, they did lose that one. Game 4, they come back on the road in Milwaukee. They come through with a staple victory, all thanks to Al Horford. And this is really shaping up to be one of the best playoff series currently taking place in the NBA playoffs. Game 3 was a thriller, 103-101, going in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks as Giannis went off for 42 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 dimes. Jayson Tatum had one of the worst games of his playoff career, but what he was able to do, he comes back in Game 4, has a marvelous performance alongside Al Horford. And this is turning out to be an epic series. And when I watch it, I'm looking at the Bucks. I'm looking at the Celtics. They're both really good teams defensively. Both have star power offensively. I think the winner of this series is going to end up winning the Eastern Conference because I like the Celtics and the Bucks better right now than the Philadelphia 76ers or the Miami Heat. We're just hitting the runway here on today's show. So much to get to and unpack, but first, I want to get your predictions. Who wins this playoff series? Are you going with Boston? Type C for the Celtics. Are you going with the Bucks? Type B for Bucks. Get those series predictions in the comment section right now. Game 4 is in the books between the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks, and it looked as though for a long time Milwaukee was going to take a commanding 3-1 lead in this series, but then Al Horford went off for the best playoff game of his career. He might be 35 years old. He was looking young and springy. Final score 116-108, and what Al Horford did last night was terrific. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 3 dimes. He was unconscious from beyond the arc from that three-point line. He could not be stopped. A couple of really big stops defensively for him going up against Giannis. He was able to alter shots around the rim against some of the other players on this Milwaukee Bucks roster, and he comes through with what was a classic Celtic performance from Al Horford, who is a classic Celtic. The fact that they basically got him back for nothing, they got rid of that Kemba Walker contract, they got back Al Horford, who epitomizes everything that it is to be a Boston Celtic. Rough, rugged, tough, playing his best basketball when the Celtics need it the most, and he's not a sexy player by any means in terms of his on-court style, but that is the Celtics way. Guys like Marcus Smart, guys like Al Horford, just coming through in the guts of the game and really just epitomizing what it's like to be a Boston Celtic, rocking that Celtics uniform, playing and carrying themselves like a Bill Russell. Al Horford, a classic Celtic, and last night, a classic playoff performance. And Jayson Tatum was able to rebound from what was a bad and miserable Game 3, but this is what great players do. 30 points, 5 dimes, 13 rebounds. When he needed to step up, he certainly stepped up, and Jayson Tatum was absolutely fantastic. And what we see so often is that superstars bounce back from having dud games. And if Jayson Tatum wants to be an elite player, he had to come back after a bad Game 3 to come through in Game 4 for his team. He was able to do that, and this is really the superstar identity for Jayson Tatum, and we saw it on full display in Game 4 on the road, because if you go down 3-1 to the defending NBA champions, that's a very tough hill to climb up. But it is now deadlocked at 2-2, coming back to TD Garden in Boston, and this series, it is right in the hands for the Celtics to take. Other big performances came from Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart going up against one of the best defensive guards in the NBA last night in Jrue Holiday was very good in that fourth quarter and was very, very tough taking it to the rack. 18 points, 8 assists, 2 rebounds. He shot 61+% from the floor and nearly 67% from the three-point line. And Jaylen Brown alongside Marcus Smart, Al Horford, and Jayson Tatum was also really good. And this is what you need going up against a very good basketball team, the defending NBA champions. You need a well-rounded effort with a couple of really good performances all across the board, and the Celtics certainly got that last night from those aforementioned players. We do have some Celtics gear on sale. Perfect time to cop some fresh Celtics gear in the midst of this playoff run that I think is not going to come to an end anytime soon. I think the Celtics are going to end up winning this playoff series. Without Chris Middleton, the Bucks certainly missing him, and it's a good opportunity to rep your Celtics. You can get all of these items available right now and more at chatsports.com/Celtics gear, Celtics deal, sweatshirts, hats, shirts, socks. The socks are really, really nice, by the way, and you can rock them year-round, just like me. Chatsports.com/Celtics deal. I'll put that link in the comment section as well as the description of this video. We move forward in this playoff series between the Celtics and the Bucks with what is going to be a very important Game 5. This could be the swing game in this playoff series as we are deadlocked at 2-2. Have a couple of Game 5 keys to victory that I do want to relay to the audience that the Celtics need to come up with and really accomplish in order to win this game in the friendly confines of TD Garden. The atmosphere, no doubt, is going to be lit. What has happened throughout this playoff series is that the Celtics, who have the best defense in the NBA, they have made Giannis's life hell in certain moments. Now, I think Giannis is the best player in the NBA. It's really hard to keep this guy down because he is so dominant. But at times, he has been frustrated. He has been a little bit flustered around the rim, and he hasn't been the same player shooting the ball from distance. So the Celtics really have to continue to just cause havoc around Giannis and make his job difficult because without Chris Middleton, the Bucks certainly rely on him to do almost everything offensively. I also need to see another MVP-level game from Jayson Tatum. Game 3, it wasn't there, and he was due for a down performance. Game 4, he responded, and that resolve really, really impressed me. And as we see this young player grow over time, he is more so developing into one of the best players in the NBA, and I think soon he will be in that conversation to win MVP. He was certainly an MVP caliber player after the All-Star break, but soon I think he is going to really bring that trophy back to Boston, which will be awesome on his resume. I also need to see another secondary scoring option come through. Is it going to be Al Horford? Is it going to be Marcus Smart? Is it going to be Jaylen Brown? That secondary scoring option has to help out Jayson Tatum a little bit. The more well-rounded that the Celtics offense is going up against a very good Bucks defense, the better off Boston is going to be. We are not sure, though, if Robert Williams is going to play. Continues to deal with that nagging knee injury that's been bothering him for a little while that surfaced back a while ago. And Robert Williams, a great rim protector, a great defensive player, awesome off the pick and roll, catching those alley-oops. Yes, he's not much of a shooting threat by any means, but going up against an athletic team like Milwaukee, you need the athletic ability of Robert Williams to impact games on both ends of the floor, and he was certainly missed at times throughout that ball game. But what's impressive for Boston is that the Celtics have now survived without Marcus Smart in Game 2 and without Robert Williams in Game 4. This is the championship makeup. This is a championship pedigree, finding ways to win. And when you're without some of your key players, having other guys step up. In Game 4, perfect evidence of that. You're without Robert Williams, Al Horford goes off for a 30-piece wing dinner with a biscuit on the side, as a former Boston Celtic Kendrick Perkins would say. So I think that other players are going to step up, but I want to ask you, who do you think needs to step up in Game 5? Let me know in the comment section right now. You can give me a name or names down below. Appreciate all of you for rocking and rolling with us here on Boston Celtics Today by Chat Sports. Ime Udoka. It continues to be criminal that he is not named NBA Coach of the Year or wasn't even really in the running or seriously considered to win the award, considering the job that he did in his debut season as a head coach in the NBA. Of course, his resume is certainly lofty. He worked under Greg Popovich. He worked under Brett Brown with the Philadelphia 76ers. He was with Steve Nash for a year. What a hire it was for Brad Stevens to make his first head coaching hiring and bringing in Ime Udoka. After the All-Star break, Celtics became one of the best teams in the NBA. under Ime Udoka's watch. They became one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. And the fact that he was so low on this list for Coach of the Year, what are the people thinking? I mean, NBA voting continues to be just irrelevant, in my opinion. MVP should have went to Joel Embiid, not the Joker. Coach of the Year, I think Ime Udoka should be higher on this list. It went to Monty Williams, and yes, I think a lot of that was working off the momentum of last year. And yes, Phoenix had the best record in the NBA. But considering where the Celtics started the year and where they ended it, Ime Udoka deserves credit for that. Taylor Jenkins did a great job with the Memphis Grizzlies. Eric Spoelstra, though, with the Miami Heat, he's ahead of Ime Udoka, who only got one first-place vote. Whoever voted for Ime Udoka in first place, credit to you. Now, I'm not saying that he should have won the award. What I'm saying is that he should have been more seriously considered to be NBA Coach of the Year from where the Celtics started, where they finished, and the growth that we saw throughout the year, offensively and defensively, the development of players, working out that 1-2 punch of Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. A lot of that is player development that's adapting and evolving along the way. Those are coaching adjustments, and Ime Udoka made them in the regular season. He made them in the playoffs up to this point as well. He is still a huge snub not being a finalist for the award. If you love Ime Udoka and you like the future prospects of him continuing to lead this basketball team and you want him around for a really long time, show him some love in the comment section by spamming me. Also, before we head out of here, make sure you subscribe to the channel as the chase to 10,000 subscribers is on and popping throughout NBA free agency, throughout the NBA draft, throughout the NBA offseason, and during the year. We have you covered with the most elite Celtics coverage. So hit that red subscribe button down below or plug in that link at the bottom of your screen, youtube.com/CelticsTV. And as always, thanks for watching today's show.